You walk into a room, head low, shoulders slumped, eyes darting like a rat trapped in a cage. You think they'll respect that? You think they'll look at you and see something worth their time? Nah, they'll sniff the weakness on you like blood in the water, and then they'll feast. You see, people, they don't admire the meek, the apologetic. They admire power, not the kind that screams, not the kind that flexes. Real power, it's quiet. It doesn't ask for permission, doesn't need validation. Let me paint you a picture, kid. Imagine a stray dog, mangy, limping down the alley. What do most people do? They kick it, yell at it to move, toss it scraps if they're feeling generous. But now, imagine a wolf walks into that same alley. It's scarred, eyes cold, posture unshaken. What do people do then? They step back. They don't dare. Why? Because the wolf respects itself. It knows its worth. And you've been living like the dog, haven't you? Waiting for scraps, hoping someone, anyone, will see you and give you what you think you deserve. But respect, it ain't charity. You don't beg for it. You bleed for it. You earn it by showing the world that you don't need them to survive. You respect yourself first, and then, only then, do they follow. Let me guess. They've walked all over you, used you, betrayed you, and you let them. Why? Because you thought being nice would earn you something. A pat on the back, a few kind words, respect. Let me tell you something about nice. Nice is the mask cowards wear when they're too scared to demand what's theirs. You think the world plays fair? It doesn't. It never has. It's a jungle out there, kid, and only the ruthless survive. Not the cruel, not the evil. No, no, no. The ruthless. The ones who set boundaries so sharp, they cut anyone who dares to cross them. The ones who say, "This is my line, and you don't get to step over it." Respect yourself enough to draw that line. Respect yourself enough to say no when they push you too far. Respect yourself enough to walk away from anyone who treats you like you're less than you are. Because if you don't, they'll keep taking and taking until there's nothing left of you but a hollow shell. And then they'll toss you aside like garbage. But here's the kicker. It's not their fault. It's yours. You gave them permission. Every time you let them belittle you, every time you stayed silent when they disrespected you, every time you bent over backward, trying to please them, you taught them that it was okay to treat you like that. You showed them that you didn't respect yourself. So why the hell should they? You want them to respect you? Start respecting yourself. Start by cleaning up the mess you've let yourself become. Look in the mirror, and I mean, really look. See that person staring back? That's the only one who can change this. Not me, not them, just you. Start small. Speak up when they try to talk over you. Stand tall even when you feel like crawling. Walk away from the people who drain you, who make you feel like you're not enough. And most importantly, stop making excuses. Stop blaming them for what you've allowed. You know, there's a saying I like. The man who kneels for everything dies, standing for nothing. That's been you, hasn't it? Kneeling for their approval, their acceptance. But you're not a beggar. You're a king. You've just forgotten your crown. It's time to remember who you are, not the person they've made you, but the one you were meant to be. Strong, unbreakable, respected. But first, you have to respect yourself enough to become him. Let them laugh now. Let them doubt you, mock you, betray you. Because one day, when you've risen from the ashes, when you've built yourself into something they can't ignore, they'll look back and realize they were wrong. And by then, you won't even care. But it starts here, right now, with you. Respect yourself first, kid. Because if you don't, no one else will. Now let me tell you another little secret, one that'll sting if you're honest with yourself. The world doesn't hate you. It's not against you. It just doesn't care. The truth? Nobody cares about you until you make them care. Not your friends, not your family, not your enemies. Respect, admiration, fear, they're all earned. They're carved out of the fabric of this cold, indifferent world. You see those skyscrapers downtown? They didn't just grow there like trees. Somebody had to dream them up, design them, fight for them, and make them a reality. And the people who built them, they didn't sit around waiting for permission, waiting for someone to say, "Oh, go ahead, you deserve this." They took it. They respected their vision enough to bring it to life. What's your vision? What's your skyscraper? Or have you been too busy living in other people's shadows to even think about it? That's the problem with most people, kid. They spend their lives living someone else's dream, working for someone else's goals, trying to meet someone else's standards. And in the end, they die empty, full of regrets, but empty of meaning. All right, you know what they'll write on your tombstone if you don't change. Here lies someone who tried to make everyone happy but forgot how to live. That's the fate you're headed for. And the worst part? You're letting it happen. You've been letting it happen. You're too afraid to offend, too scared to be disliked. You think if you stay quiet, keep your head down, play it safe, the world will reward you. But the world doesn't reward silence. It rewards strength. You don't get respect by being invisible. You get it by standing out, by being so undeniable that they can't ignore you. And before you start whining about how it's too late, how you've already lost too much time, let me stop you right there. Time? That's just an excuse. It's never too late to start respecting yourself. Never too late to take back control. You could be on your last breath, and if you decide in that moment to rise, to fight, to demand more from yourself, and the world around you, then you've already won. Let me give you a real example, one you can't argue with. Imagine a man, let's call him Joe. Joe spends his whole life being a people pleaser. He works a job he hates because it makes his parents proud. He marries someone who doesn't respect him because he's too scared to be alone. He lets his so-called friends walk all over him because he doesn't want to rock the boat. And then one day, Joe wakes up. He's 50 years old, stuck in a loveless marriage, surrounded by fake friends, and working a dead-end job. He looks in the mirror and realizes he doesn't even recognize the person staring back at him. Why? Because Joe spent his whole life trying to make everyone else happy, and in the process, he lost himself. You don't want to be Joe, do you? Because here's the truth. Nobody remembers Joe. Nobody respects Joe. Joe is forgotten before his body's even cold. But you have a choice. You can either keep living like Joe, or you can wake up right here, right now. Decide that you're done with the excuses, done with the compromises, done with being less than you were meant to be. You want to know how to start? I'll tell you. First, stop apologizing for existing. Stop saying sorry for things that aren't your fault. Stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Stand tall, speak clearly, and let them see that you mean every word. Next, set boundaries. And I don't mean those weak, half-hearted lines you draw in the sand. I mean boundaries that are carved in stone. Boundaries that say, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. Cross this line, and there will be consequences. Then, start saying no. It's the most powerful word in your vocabulary, but you're too scared to use it. You think no makes you mean selfish, unlikable. But the truth? No is what protects your time, your energy, your self-respect. And anyone who doesn't respect your no doesn't respect you. And finally, stop waiting for someone to save you. Stop waiting for someone to notice your pain, your struggles, your potential. Nobody's coming. It's all on you. But here's the beauty of it. You don't need them. You don't need their approval, their validation, their pity. Everything you need is already inside you. The strength, the fire, the will to rise. It's all there, buried under the layers of doubt and fear you've let them pile on you. Dig it out. Unleash it. Respect yourself enough to become the person you've always wanted to be. Because once you do, they'll have no choice but to respect you too. And if they don't, if they still try to belittle you, to tear you down, then walk away. Walk away and don't look back, because you don't need them. You never did. The only respect that truly matters is the respect you have for yourself. Remember, kid, they can't respect you if you don't respect yourself first. So start now Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Because the clock's ticking, and every second you waste is a second you'll never get back. Respect yourself, and the world will follow. Or don't, and end up like Joe. The choice is yours. Oh, I'm not done yet. You see, there's another layer to this game. A darker truth you probably don't want to face. Respect isn't just about how others see you. It's about how you see yourself. And I've got to ask, do you even like the person staring back at you in the mirror? Be honest now. Don't give me some rehearsed line about how everyone's a work in progress. That's just an excuse to stay stagnant. Do you respect yourself? Do you admire the choices you've made? The life you're building? Or have you spent so long pretending to be someone you're not that you've forgotten who you really are? Most people, you know, they wear masks. Not like mine. Oh no, mine's honest. But theirs are lies. Fake smiles, forced laughter, empty words. They put on a show, hoping the world will buy into the facade. And you've been playing the same game, haven't you? Hiding your true self because you're afraid they won't like what they see. But here's the irony. They don't respect the mask either. They see through it, see the cracks, see the fear. And fear, my. You thought I was done, didn't you? You thought that was the end of my little sermon. Oh no. No. You don't get off that easy. See, this isn't just about you hearing my words. It's about you feeling them, carrying them with you, like a weight in your chest, until you're forced to act. Because here's another truth for you. Change isn't convenient. It's painful. It's ugly. And most people don't have the guts for it. But you're still here, listening. That means there's a part of you, a small, stubborn part that hasn't given up yet. That part of you knows I'm right, even if you don't want to admit it. That part of you is tired of living like this, tired of the excuses, tired of the lies you tell yourself just to get through the day. Let's dig a little deeper, shall we? Because if we're going to break you down, we might as well do it properly. Let's talk about why you don't respect yourself. Let's talk about the guilt, the shame, the fear that's been eating away at you from the inside out. Maybe it's something they said to you when you were a kid. Maybe it's the way they treated you, the way they made you feel small, invisible, unworthy. Maybe it's the mistakes you've made, the chances you've wasted, the people you've hurt. Whatever it is, it's been clinging to you like a shadow, whispering in your ear, telling you that you're not enough, and you've believed it. You've let it define you. But here's the thing about shadows, kid. They only exist if you keep standing in the dark, step into the light, and they disappear. And you've been living in the dark, for far too long. You've been punishing yourself, haven't you? Holding on to the pain, the regret, the shame, like it's some kind of penance. Like if you suffer enough, it'll make things right. But it won't. All it's doing is keeping you stuck, dragging you further and further into the abyss. You think you're weak because you've been hurt. You think you're broken because you've failed. But strength isn't about never falling. It's about getting back up. And respect? Respect is earned in the way you rise after you've been knocked down. Let me tell you a story. Once, there was a man, a nobody, really. He had nothing. No friends, no family, no future. He spent his days wandering the streets, invisible to the world. But one day, he decided he'd had enough. He didn't have money, he didn't have connections, but he had something more powerful, a refusal to stay invisible. So he started small. He cleaned himself up, stood a little taller, spoke a little louder. People started to notice. At first, they mocked him, doubted him, but he didn't stop. He kept going, kept building himself piece by piece, until one day, he wasn't invisible anymore. He was undeniable. That man could have been anyone. That man could be you. But only if you decide to stop living like a victim and start living like a warrior. You want them to respect you? Then start respecting yourself enough to do the work. Respect yourself enough to face your demons instead of running from them. Respect yourself enough to forgive yourself for the past and focus on the future. Because here's the harsh reality, kid. Nobody's coming to save you. No one's gonna swoop in and fix your life. It's all on you. And that's not a bad thing. That's power. That's freedom. It means you don't have to wait for anyone's permission to change. So what's it going to be? Are you going to keep living like this, hiding in the shadows, letting life pass you by? Or are you going to step up, take control, and start living like the person you were meant to be? The choice is yours. It always has been. I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there, mind racing, trying to decide if I'm right or if I'm just another lunatic spouting nonsense. But deep down, you already know the answer, don't you? You can feel it clawing at you, tearing at the walls you've built around your pride. Let me tell you something about pain. Pain is a teacher. The kind of teacher that doesn't sugarcoat anything. It doesn't pat you on the back and tell you everything's going to be okay. Pain is raw, brutal, and unrelenting. And do you know what it teaches? Respect. Respect for yourself. Respect for the struggle. Respect for the lessons you've had to learn the hard way. But here's the kicker. Most people don't learn from their pain. They let it break them. Let it turn them into victims. They wallow in it. Use it as an excuse to stay small, to stay invisible. Not you. Not anymore. You're going to let that pain forge you into something stronger, something unshakable. You've been hurt, betrayed, humiliated, abandoned. I can see it in your eyes. But what you don't realize is that those scars, those wounds, they're your greatest assets. Each one tells a story, a lesson you had to learn. And if you let them, those scars will become your armor. They'll make you untouchable. You want examples? Fine. Let's talk about people who've been through hell and come out the other side. Look at anyone who's ever made a mark on this world. You think their lives were easy? You think they were handed respect on a silver platter? Hell no. They were beaten down, ridiculed, underestimated, but they didn't stay down. They didn't let the world define them. They got back up again and again until the world had no choice but to take notice. Let me tell you something about power. Real power doesn't come from money or muscles or some fancy title. Real power comes from self-respect. When you respect yourself, truly respect yourself, it changes the way you move through the world. You stop chasing people who don't care about you. You stop bending over backward for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. You start making decisions based on what's right for you, not what's convenient for them. And that's when everything changes. People notice. They start treating you differently, not because they've suddenly grown a conscience, but because they can sense it. Self-respect is magnetic. It draws the right people to you and repels the ones who don't belong. But you've got to earn it, kid. Self-respect isn't handed out for free. It's something you build brick by brick, choice by choice. Every time you stand up for yourself, every time you set a boundary, every time you refuse to settle, you're laying the foundation. And the stronger that foundation gets, the less anyone can shake it. You've got to stop waiting for someone to come along and save you. That's the lie they sell you, isn't it? That someday, someone will swoop in and fix everything, make all the pain go away. But here's the truth. Nobody's coming. If you want your life to change, you're going to have to be the one to change it. And it's not going to be easy. Oh no, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like tearing yourself apart and putting the pieces back together again. But that's what growth is, isn't it? Breaking down who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. You'll lose people, friends, family, lovers. They'll fall away like dead leaves. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because they can't handle the new you. The you that refuses to settle, refuses to be disrespected, refuses to play small. But let them go. Let them. Because the ones who truly matter, they'll stay. And the ones who leave, they were never meant to be part of your story anyway. You think this world cares about you? It doesn't. It never has. The world doesn't owe you respect, or fairness, or kindness. But here's the thing. If you respect yourself, if you demand more from life, then you don't need the world to care. You become your own force of nature, unstoppable, undeniable. And when you walk into a room, they'll feel it. They won't know what it is at first, but they'll feel it. That unshakable sense of self, that quiet confidence, that power that doesn't need to shout to be heard. And do you know what they'll do? They'll respect you. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Because when you respect yourself, you set the standard. You show them how it's done. What's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep living like a shadow, invisible, forgotten? Or are you gonna step into the light and show them who you really are? The choice is yours, kid. But remember this, they can't respect you if you don't respect yourself first. And if you don't start now, then don't bother blaming them when they treat you like nothing. Because you'll have shown them that's exactly what you believe you are. Respect yourself, kid, or don't. But if you don't come crying when the world chews you up and spits you out. You've got what it takes. I can see it. The question is, do you? You know, people have this sick little habit of mistaking kindness for weakness. And you've let them. You've played the game, kept your head down, tried to be nice, thinking it'd earn you a seat at their table. But here's the harsh truth. That table, it was never meant for you. You don't need their table. You build your own. You pull up your own chair. And when they see the feast you've created for yourself, they'll come crawling, begging for a taste. That's the irony, isn't it? They only respect what they can't have. But don't get me wrong, respect isn't about scaring people or pushing them around or making them feel small. No, real respect, it's quiet, it's solid, it's unshakable. It's walking into a room and knowing you don't owe anyone an explanation for who you are. It's looking someone in the eye and daring them to challenge you, not with words, but with the way you carry yourself. You've been living like a ghost, fading into the background, hoping someone will notice you. But ghosts don't get respect. They get ignored, forgotten. You've got to make them see you, not by shouting, not by begging, but by standing so tall, so firm, that you cast a shadow they can't escape. And the funny thing about shadows, they're born from light. Your light. The light you've been hiding because you're too scared of what it might reveal. But let me tell you something about fear. It's a liar. It whispers in your ear, telling you you're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy. And you've believed it. You've let it chain you, blind you, break you. You know what people are? Mirrors. Broken, distorted mirrors. They reflect their own insecurities, their own fears, their own failures onto you. And you've been looking at those broken reflections and thinking they're the truth. Let me ask you something. If a funhouse mirror makes you look fat, do you blame yourself? No, you blame the mirror. So why the hell do you let people's warped perceptions define you? Why do you let their insults, their doubts, their dismissals get under your skin? Here's the truth, kid. Most people don't even know who they are. They're stumbling through life, just as lost as you are, trying to make sense of their own mess. So why would you let their opinions hold any weight? Why would you let them dictate your worth? You're giving power to people who don't even know how to handle their own lives. And that's your biggest mistake. Let me ask you another question. How many times have you swallowed your pride just to keep the peace? How many times have you let someone talk down to you, dismiss you like you were nothing? Too many times, huh? And every time, it chips away at you, doesn't it? Makes you feel smaller, makes you question your worth. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. When you let someone disrespect you, it's not just about the moment. It's about the message you're sending to them and to yourself. You're telling them it's okay to treat you like dirt. You're telling yourself that you don't deserve better. And that's poison, kid. It seeps into your soul, into your thoughts, into the way you carry yourself. Respect isn't about what you do when people are watching. Nah, kid.